A very good morning to all my dear friends. I am Prashant Mavani. I hope you all are doing good. Today is 19th October 2020. Day is Monday. And I'm sure you all have enjoyed your weekend. I would like to start today's discussion with this quote by Plato. The greatest wealth is to live content with little. Little or more is always a product of comparison. When I compare myself with someone who has got more than me, then I will feel disheartened that my glass is half empty. When I compare myself with someone else who is not having that much that I have, then I would feel a bit happy, isn't it? So I think that is also not right. This is my personal opinion. We need to get rid of this whole game of comparison, comparing yourself with someone who is better than you and comparing yourself with someone who is a bit behind you. That is also not great. What I believe is, how about stepping out of this comparison game and enjoying whatever we have? If we have more, then as well it's good. If we have little, then as well it's good. Little and more is all about a state of mind. So if you want to be one of the wealthiest person on this earth, then what you have to do is enjoy whatever you have. Appreciate the things that you have. With this difference, StudyIQ team has designed a smart course for Civil Services Examination. At present, Navratri sale is going on all other smart courses, including this Civil Services Examination smart course. And to find out more about this smart course, this Navratri sale, all you have to do is download our mobile application. This Navratri sale is valid till 26th October only, so make the most out of it. You can download the PDF of today's lecture from my Telegram channel. You can follow me on Facebook as well. Please make sure that you hit the like button if you have learned something from today's discussion. If you love this series, if you are watching this series videos on regular basis, then please make sure that you keep on sharing everyday lecture with as many students as possible. You can share it on your WhatsApp, you can share it on your Telegram channel or Telegram group, you can share it on Facebook, Twitter, and any other places, right? That will really help this series to expand and to grow. And dear friends, if you have not, then I reckon you guys to hit the subscribe button and press the notification bell so you get all the latest updates from our channel. On our table, we have 4 important articles, and then we have got some news items. So let's quickly crack on with the first one. No Great Escape. Global Hunger Index 2020 is out, and our performance is very, very bad, to be honest, right? Total 107 countries or nations are measured, and out of that, our rank is 94. That is really, really bad. We are in this serious category. We have performed, just like Sudan. Now, you know that Sudan is a third world country, and when it comes to hunger, we are as bad as Sudan. The reason I'm comparing Sudan and India is because, first of all, this Global Hunger Index compares various different countries based on their performance. The second thing is, Sudan is not that much diverse when you compare it with India. You know, in our country, even in one state, so for example, I can tell you about Gujarat. In Gujarat, you have so many different foods, isn't it? Like if you are in Saurashtra, Kathiawad region, then you have Kathiawadi food. If you go to North Gujarat, then they have this different food compared to Kathiawadi people. And then in Kutch region, you have again different food. Looks good, looks same, but the way of preparing it is a little bit different. And we find this thing all across the board, right? If you visit Maharashtra, if you visit Punjab, anywhere, right? We generally think that Punjabi food is all, but in various different districts, they have different flavors. The way of cooking is a little bit different. And this thing is going on since a very long time. So no formal research was conducted on this thing, but we know that home food is the best because it is a very proper balanced plate that we eat on regular basis, right? The thali, The full thali it includes everything. The things that our body needs, from fat, from protein, carbohydrates, vitamins, and micronutrients and whatnot. But do you know that not everyone in our country is lucky to have a balanced diet? We are going to talk about it in detail. Now let's go through some facts about this report. Our score of 27.2 is the worst among BRICS nations. BRICS includes Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. If you compare ourselves with Brazil, Russia, China, and South Africa, we are far behind them. In fact, we are inferior to Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and Nepal. The evidence from NFHS4 of 2015-16 is not very different from what we find in this hunger index. And we must dispel the hubris. Hubris means a sort of overconfidence or too much of arrogance or ego. See, politicians, officials, right, they talk too much about strong economic growth. That our economic growth has been this much. And we have achieved this many things, this many points, and our GDP has grown by this much and whatnot. But growth and development, both are different things. Yes, they both enhance each other, they both support each other, but they are different. If I say that, let's say if a family was earning 10,000 rupees per month, right? And all of a sudden, this family started earning 1 lakh rupees per month. So we can definitely say that there is a growth in the income of this family. But if this family is not investing after education, after health of the family members, then we cannot say that this particular family is developing. Yes, it has registered a growth from 10,000 to 1 lakh rupees it is earning. This family may buy a new house, new car, but if they are not, even though having money, if they are not, if the distribution is money or the spending that they are doing, if it is not good, then this family may not get, the family members may not get a well-balanced diet, right? Fruits, vegetables, proteins, whatever, etc., etc. And they may not be, the kids may not be getting education, the family members may not have health insurance or access to health and other things. So yes, in terms of growth, in terms of quantity, this family is earning, but in terms of quality of life, it's still very bad. So this is the main thing when it comes to a country. It's not just your GDP number, it's not just your growth rate. It's also about your development, the qualitative side of life. The problem in our country is that National Food Security Act or via this PDS, what we are trying to achieve is we are just feeding people with rice, with wheat, and with this sort of food crops, right? With a little bit of pulses. Okay, I'm not saying that we should not give our poor people rice, wheat, but this will not help us. Right? Just if you eat rice, that's it, and nothing else. If you eat just chapatis or rotis, right, and nothing else, no sabzi, no curry, no dal, nothing, or if you are just eating dal and roti, that's it, or dal chawal, then yes, you are not staying hungry, right? You will feel full, that's okay, but that is not good for your health. Just eating a limited amount of, or limited variety, not amount, but limited variety of food items is not good. We need to have a balanced diet. You need ghee, you need butter, you need some other things as well, right? Fresh vegetables, salads, fruits, etc. Because if you don't eat this variety throughout the day, you will not get your fats, you will not get your protein, you will not get your micronutrients. And this pandemic has, as we all know, added more pain. It has created situations of multiple speed breakers. And they say that whatever we have achieved in terms of poverty reduction, everything will be washed away because of this pandemic. So yes, if we are providing food, that's okay. That is a primary thing. But now we need to achieve diet diversity. This is the most important thing. If we don't do it, what will happen is we'll see more stunted people. We'll see more wasted people, right? We'll see more, women, malnourished women, suffering from various different deficiencies, and that we'll see the same thing in newborn baby, and that particular child will always stay behind, because from the birth itself, or before birth and after birth, that child is struggling with so many things. He or she is not getting proper nutrition because the mother was not getting it, and after the birth as well, the child will be weak, will struggle at every single stage. So just imagine if we have 100 crore, or not 100 crore, sorry, but maybe 20 crore or 30 crore citizens who are not that healthy because of this, because of malnutrition, then our country would always be struggling. It's like out of a family of 5 members, if 2 members are most of the time not well, then whatever you earn, right, you will always be spending after the health of this family, because you have not, now we are acting on like curative side rather than preventive side. So we can change this situation only by ensuring that we are providing diet diversity through PDS. Though things have improved, no doubt, if we go through NFHS 4 report, then we find that there is a 10 percentage point in terms of stunting and wasting. Stunting was, it is at present 38%, and wasting is 21%. So compared to the figures of 10 years ago, the figures used to be a bit bad compared to what it is now, but still we have to travel a very long distance. And International Food Policy Research Institute says that 3/4 rural Indians cannot afford a balanced, nutritious diet. So this is a matter of shame for us. If our country is capable of producing fruits, vegetables, food grains, and so many other things, then the only problem is distribution and proper management. And this is something that is achievable. And this is a priority, right? It may look like an expense, but this is not an expense, this is an investment. With this difference, next one is about police reform. Now, police reform is not a new topic for you guys, isn't it? And it's not a new topic for this series. We have talked about police reforms many a times, but that does not mean that I am going to skip this article. Not at all. I have found a few interesting points in this article that I would like to discuss with you guys. Now, if we turn pages of last few months, then we find this big incident on 14th July in Guna district of Madhya Pradesh, the thrashing of a Dalit couple by police. The district collector was transferred, the superintendent of police was transferred, and 6 police personnel have been suspended. The writer of this article, retired police personnel, retired senior police personnel, retired IPS officer, saying that the matter will soon be forgotten, like many other matters that we find in our country. Remember this brutal torture of J. Benix and his father, P. Jairaj, in one town of Tamil Nadu, Sattankulam town of Tamil Nadu to be precise. Now, they were not dreaded criminals, this father-son duo, right? Their fault was that they I think they had a shop in Sattankulam, and the shop was open even after permissible time, like for 10-15 minutes extra. It was open, something like that. So their crime was, it was not a huge big deal. It was not like they were terrorists. They did this crime, and it is also said that there was something like a personal vengeance thing. Like police were not happy. They were they were looking for this father-son duo to step into, to do something wrong. And once they do something wrong, the police can jump on them. They could be given a penalty of 500 rupees or maybe 100 rupees, and that's it. The matter would have been over. But here, the father-son duo was tortured to such an extent that both of them, they died in police custody. And we know the story of Vikas Dubey as well, right? Vikas Dubey encountered even film. Even in films, or a film creator would reject this story because it looks so fake that Vikas Dubey tries to escape, and then the police shoots him down. But there are people, they say that because so many big names, big fishes were involved in it, and if proper investigation as well as proper procedures, if court cases and everything would have gone into this thing, then many big names, like officials and politicians, so many of them are believed to be involved with Vikas Dubey. So it was best to kill him. And we know this case of George Floyd, what happened in USA. George Floyd was a black man, and he was sitting somewhere in a car. The police asked him to come out of the car, and he was, he was made to be laid on the road, and the police personnel, his knee was on the neck of George Floyd. And George Floyd, in the video I have watched that video, and in this video, the George Floyd is saying that I cannot breathe. He's repeatedly saying this thing that I cannot breathe. And after that, he was not able to breathe, and he died. And this created a big uproar in USA, and this was good as well that people came out, because we find this sort of things in various different parts of the world. But in our country, the problem is that we don't take, people, they generally, politicians as well, the system knows this thing, that people do not come out. It's something that people don't find that it is something to do with them, right? People will not come out against encounters. People will not come out against this sort of brutal tortures and other things, because we have accepted this system that if it is police, then they will beat us. That's their right, and that's what they do. Or else how they will be able to manage this country, this population? And there are so many excuses given when it comes to this thing. But anyway, police reforms, we know that we need police reforms in our country, and I blame, and this article is also saying this thing, and to be honest, right, these politicians, these political parties, every political party would like to win election, and they would like to control this whole police via Home Ministry. We don't have independent police. This is the biggest problem. Just imagine if this whole police department is independent, if they don't have to report to politicians, right? If they have to report to a state legislature or legislative assembly or our parliament, then that's a different thing. But if there is no political interference, then can you imagine so many things in our country, from traffic to, just imagine, so many things will change in our country. It will bring a big revolution. And I think we will, not in terms of money, but in terms of life, quality of life, we will definitely or we will be in that path of becoming a developed nation. A developed nation is not just about wealth, it's also about quality of your life. So I think that can be achieved via police reforms if there is proper implementation of police reforms. So many commissions, so many committees have delivered their reports, but so far we have not seen any particular state who has implemented all reforms. Prakash Singh as well filed, a retired IPS officer filed in PIL in 1996, and I think it was in 2006 or 7, Supreme Court said that there are 7.7 reforms, but still we don't find any particular state has followed this 100% 7 reforms. So the only way out is judiciary. Judiciary can step in or should step in and enforce the diktats it had passed or if, so far judiciary has said and not, but I think until and unless, right, it is like people's consciousness. If we don't demand it, we will not get it. Simple as that. Then we have probing judicial impropriety and corruption. Do you know, dear friends, a few weeks ago, not few weeks, I think few weeks ago, I'm not sure about the precise date, but that doesn't matter. Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy, he wrote a letter to Chief Justice of India. He said that there is one particular judge in the Supreme Court who is corrupt, and he said that he is interfering with Andhra Pradesh High Court. He has his network, and this whole Andhra Pradesh High Court is working when it comes to a particular case or cases pertaining to the former Chief Minister N. Chandrababu Naidu, then the judiciary is passing orders that are in favor of N. Chandrababu Naidu and things like that. In March 2020, Principal Secretary Home of Andhra Pradesh government wrote to the Secretary of Union Ministry of Public Grievances and Pensions seeking a CBI inquiry into the findings of a cabinet subcommittee set up to investigate charges of corrupt dealings in land purchases. This land purchase cases are associated with this new capital Amravati. So the subcommittee said that what these people did, people in power, right, so many of them, what they did, they purchased, because they were knowing that this new city is going to be developed in this particular area, what they did, they purchased this agriculture land for throwaway prices, and then this whole project was released. So this agriculture land all of a sudden became a prime land, and they sold it for you buy something for 1 lakh and you are selling it for crores, right? So you are making 100%, 200% profit out of that thing, or more than that, in fact. So that's what they did. That's what this letter says. So, but when it comes to cases, nothing is happening. The Andhra Pradesh court is not allowing things to move on. And with this developments, two questions have arisen. Whether such a letter or complaint against the Supreme Court judge should have been put out in the public domain, and what the CJI's response should be. Now, back in 1997, something similar took place. Not something similar in the sense, not the same thing, but a case was, or a name of a Supreme Court judge was, means corruption or some sort of case, like something wrong was done by a Supreme Court judge. So the judiciary decided that if we have something like that, then we will have one in-house procedure. And in this in-house procedure, what happens is that CJI will order an inquiry, or it is expected that CJI will order an inquiry, and 3 sitting judges of Supreme Court will look after that complaint. So one more thing, technical thing is, let's say if you have CJI is the senior most judge, then you have other judges, isn't it? So let's say you have 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 judges are the senior most judges after CJI. And then you have other judges, number 5, 6, 7, 8, right? Now, let's say if you have something going on against number 2 and 3. So, can you ask number 5 and number 6 to be part of this committee? That's again a big question, right? We don't have that much clarity on this thing. And in C. Ravichandran Iyer versus Justice A.M. Bhattacharya in 1995, the court held that such complaints should be kept confidential. Now, we are living in a democracy. If other institutions, if individuals, if we have to follow transparency, then why is that courts are allowed to have their own privacy and confidentiality? In the absence of you see, when it comes to impeachment, we find that even MPs, they are looking for 2 conditions. One is that there should be a solid documentary evidence, which is quite logical, okay. But the second is, it should be like a public scandal. If it is not a big scandal, then MPs are reluctant to sign an impeachment motion. And this whole purpose of this in-house procedure is that all credible complaints of misconduct against judges of High Court and Supreme Court should be looked into by a committee of judges. But We find many times that things are not recorded. Look at the case of Ranjan Gogoi, previous CJI. Sexual harassment complaint was filed against him, and the woman employee of the Supreme Court was not even allowed to be accompanied by her lawyer, and nor did it allow recording of proceedings. So no recording is done. You cannot allow a lawyer to come in. Then how you are going to prove things? And we don't know anything about it, like how it was, what was decided, because there are no recordings at all. So the writer is giving us a suggestion that only a retired judges of high credibility will be able to conduct a robust inquiry into Mr. Reddy's complaint. Yes, I think I agree with the writer here that only a retired judges or a committee of retired judges can, or a panel or a bench of retired judges can look after this thing. Moving on to the last item, it's about National Green Tribunal. So yesterday marked 18th October, marked the 10th anniversary of National Green Tribunal. So far, National Green Tribunal has done so many important things for our environment and for our animals and for our country. Parliament had passed laws related to the establishment of National Environment Tribunal 1995 and National Environment Appellate Authority 1997. So authority was supposed to act for, like authority is like a forum for challenges to environmental clearances, and tribunal is for awarding limited amounts of compensation. But then later on, we saw so many ups and downs, and 10 years ago, finally, we saw this birth of NGT. And NGT has no doubt reduced this burden of cases, environment-related cases on Supreme Court and High Courts. Tribunal is staffed with judges and environmental experts. So we have this fine balance of judges as well as environmental experts. And since its inception in this 10 years, NGT has created a new breed of legal practitioners, protected vast acres of forest land, halted polluting construction activities in metros and smaller towns, and it has penalized errant officials who have turned a blind eye towards enforcing the laws and held large corporate entities to account. What we expect from National Green Tribunal next 10 years is, increasing, reaching out to smallest or the tiniest or the remotest part of our country, and keep on doing good work. That's what we expect from NGT, that it grows stronger and stronger, bigger and wider. And that's basically everything in today's discussion. Thank you very much for watching this video. On your screen you have 5 important news items, right? SLINEX between Indian and Sri Lankan Navy, Israel-Bahrain official relationship, PM is going to address GCAM 2020, Mumbai Metro to resume services today, and then you have this women's singles title at Denmark Open, Nozomi Okuhara. And that's everything from my side. I'll see you soon with daily financial news analysis. Enjoy your studies. God bless you all. Jai Hind.